Have you ever seen a major football club just undergo this like radical transformation and then somehow achieve surprising success, almost against the odds?
Yeah, it's like watching a team completely reinvent itself, isn't it? Especially on such a massive, high-stakes stage.
Exactly. So today we're diving deep into Chelsea Football Club's, well, remarkable first season under head coach Enzo Maresca. Our sources paint this really fascinating picture. It's not just about wins and losses, it's about a whole philosophical shift taking root, a radical new identity, really.
What's truly insightful here, I think, is how quickly a very detailed, demanding system started showing, actual results. Despite all the skepticism around it at first, this deep dive will really unpack the method behind that recent success.
And what a journey it's been. Enzo Maresca's appointment, June 3rd, 2024, started duties July 1st. That wasn't just another manager coming in, was it?
No, definitely not.
He signed that big 5-year contract. So for a club known for its, let's say, managerial merry-go-rounds, what made this feel different? Was it just the contract length or something deeper?
It was absolutely a strategic pivot. Maresca replaced Pochettino, and the club was very clear. They wanted a coach to instill a clear playing style, and crucially, to consistently develop that young squad they'd assembled. This wasn't about quick fixes. It was a proper long-term bet on a vision.
Right, a long-term vision, okay. And the initial reception, I mean, it was mixed. Yeah.
Oh, definitely a mixed bag. There was skepticism, sure. His Premier League experience was limited. The club seemed a bit unstable.
But there was excitement, too.
Yeah, palpable excitement from those who kind of saw the potential in his philosophy,
It sounds like Maresca wasn't just bringing a new formation then. It was more like rethinking the whole game, like chess on grass. How deep does this Maresca ball thing go?
It's completely interwoven. Maresca ball, as people call it, is deeply rooted in Pep Guardiola's principles. Maresca was his assistant, of course, but it's not about rigid systems. It's a philosophy designed for adaptability, really.
Adaptability.
Right.
Okay. So what are the core principles?
At its core, it emphasizes balance, keeping the ball, and this really meticulous build-up right from the back. The aim is always consistent chance creation and being solid defensively.
So it's patient, but purposeful.
Exactly. Positional play is huge. Precise spacing, creating numerical superiority. Things like 3v2 or 2v1 situations, especially in midfield and out wide. What's really clever is how focusing on these little micro battles forces the other team into, constant indecision. It dismantles their structure bit by bit.
Not just relying on one brilliant player then.
No, it's systemic. The ball itself is a tool for both attack and defense controlling rhythm, disorganizing the opposition. Patient possession, yes, but never passive. Always looking to disrupt.
And adapting based on the opponent.
Crucial, playing where the space is. So sometimes they'll patiently invite the press, draw them out. Other times, against high-pressing teams, they'll look to play quickly in behind.
That sounds incredibly dynamic. So how does this Maresca ball actually look on the pitch? Our sources mention flexible formations starting like a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, but then transforming.
It's very fluid, yeah. A living tactical organism, as you put it. And a critical piece is the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez.
The keeper. How so?
He plays an integral role, often joining the back line, almost like an extra outfield player, to create overloads, especially when they're pressed high.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
And then you have those signature inverted fullbacks.
Right, I've heard about this. Explain that a bit more.
Well, one fullback, think Malo Gusto at Chelsea or Ricardo Pereira back at Leicester, moves into central midfield. He forms double pivot with the deepest midfielder, maybe Moises Caicedo or Enzo Fernandez. Sometimes you even see both fullbacks tucking in.
Wow, okay, so your fullback is suddenly playing in central midfield. That must cause chaos for the opposition marking.
Precisely. It's designed to disorientate them. When attacking, the shape often morphs into something like a 3-2-5 or a 3-2-4-1. You get attacking midfielders and those fullbacks pushing really high, pinning the defense back, creating those overloads we talked about.
Creating chaos while keeping their own structure.
That's the idea. And when they lose the ball, they typically snap back into a narrow shape, maybe a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 block. The press is aggressive, often man-to-man, trying to win it back high. Plus, a coordinated counter-press, like 3 to 5 players swarming the ball instantly.
So forcing errors, not just tackling.
Yeah, and a crucial element is that rest defense. Even when they're pouring forward, players are already positioned to snuff out counterattacks.
It's fascinating tactically, and clearly, youth was a massive focus. Qualifying for the Champions League with the youngest average lineup in Premier League history, 24 years and 36 days. That's a Well, that's brave.
It's huge faith in young talent, definitely. But it comes with risks, of course.
So what did Maresca do to unlock all that potential so quickly?
A lot comes down to his man management, I think. We've seen really significant growth from several key players. Cole Palmer, for instance. He properly emerged as Maresca's most important player, didn't he? Excelling everywhere, creating, linking play.
Yeah, that cutting in from the right half space became his trademark. He went from promising kid to, well, superstar almost overnight.
Absolutely. And look at Moises Caicedo. People had questions after his tricky start. But he developed into a genuinely top defensive midfielder. That partnership with Reece James became vital.
Enzo Fernandez, too, seemed to find more consistency, took on more leadership, even playing higher up sometimes.
He did. Levi Colwill really solidified his spot at the back, looked comfortable playing wider in the build-up phase.
Marc Cucurella had a bit of a renaissance, didn't he? Adapting to that advanced inverted role, even scoring goals.
Significant improvement, yeah. And Robert Sanchez, he got stick earlier on, but delivered massively in the Club World Cup, really validated Maresca's faith in him needing to play with his feet.
And Nicholas Jackson, repaying the trust.
Absolutely. Consistent performances, goals, assists, really intelligent movement. Even Trevoh Chalobah, who was kind of out in the cold with the U21s initially.
Right, he came back in due to injury.
Yeah, injuries opened the door, but his performances kept him there. Became a key defensive piece. Maresca's calm approach, his understanding, but also his high standards. It clearly worked.
I remember the Noni Madueke situation, benching him for supposedly not training hard enough. How did he balance that strictness with nurturing young players?
It seems to be about really clear communication of what's expected, very high standards for everyone, for the collective. Madueke eventually left because he wanted to, but the situation underlined Maresca's non-negotiables on intensity and commitment, no individual above the team.
And this whole tactical vision clearly drove their transfer strategy too, which has been, well, pretty aggressive.
He's really aggressive.
It wasn't just buying talent, was it? He was finding the right profiles for this specific system.
Exactly right. You saw arrivals like Tosin and Otter Rabioyo, physicality, aerial strength for that high line, a specific need met. Esteval Willian, Little Messi, he's one for the future, joining in 2025. Mark Yu, the young striker, impressed with his work rate in preseason.
Kieran Dewsbury Hall reunited with Maresca from Leicester, though reports suggest he struggled for regular starts. Shows how demanding it is, maybe.
It does. Then you had Pedro Neto, bringing pace, threat, but also that defensive work rate Maresca wants.
João Felix came back permanently. Versatile, but maybe didn't quite hit the heights consistently.
Yeah, struggled a bit for consistent impact. Jadon Sancho came on loan, obligation to buy, showed some promising early signs through balls, dribbling. Liam Delap added a different physical presence up top, clinical finishing, hold-up play. And João Pedro, versatile forward, made an immediate impact, scoring, linking play.
But the flip side was a lot of departures too. Loans, permanent deals.
Significant numbers left. Players like Ben Chilwell, Carney Chukwuemeka. You sensed maybe their profiles didn't perfectly match the specific demands. Maresca's priority is clearly that precise system fit. He wants flexibility, depth, versatility, and the club's strategy seems to be buy young talent, assess them in the system, maybe sell for profit later.
It raises that big question, doesn't it? How much does a manager's specific vision dictate transfers these days?
It's fascinating here. The focus seems so deliberate on profile-specific talent, not just grabbing any big name available.
So finding the right pieces for the puzzle, not just the shiniest ones. And that precision must have been tested immediately in what sounded like a brutal preseason.
Oh, absolutely. That deliberate focus got a real stress test during the 2024-25 preseason. Remember, players only had 21 days off because of the Club World Cup rescheduling. Fitness concerns were immediate.
And those early games, they were quite revealing, weren't they?
They were. Against Wrexham, you saw the inverted fullbacks, but defensive gaps were there to be seen. The 4-1 loss to Celtic, that really rang alarm bells. Leaky high backline, sloppy giveaways, lack of clinical finishing. Fans were understandably worried.
And Man City game. Lost 4-2.
Yeah, the aggressive press did disrupt City initially, which was positive, but again, they weren't clinical enough. And City adapted, didn't they? Long balls to Haaland.
Who just overpowered the defense.
Pretty much. Exposed that vulnerability to direct play.
It really sounds like a classic story of struggle leading to growth. Those early bumps weren't just failures, they were like calibration points.
You could say that.
Then the Premier League season starts with another loss to City. And that January period, a real nosedive, wasn't it? Just one win in 7 league games.
It felt like a free fall. The whispers about Maresca being too rigid got louder. Goalkeeper errors crept in. The critics were definitely circling.
What turned it around? Because it did turn around.
That period was absolutely pivotal. And crucially, Maresca showed he could adapt. He wasn't as rigid as maybe perceived. During the Club World Cup, he experimented. Fullbacks sometimes stayed wide. Cole Palmer shifted out to the right wing more often. And they started using more long balls, especially against teams pressing high like PSG. It was a direct counter to those earlier vulnerabilities.
Okay. So the rigidity was maybe just the initial learning phase, embedding the core principles before tweaking.
That's how it looks in hindsight. It wasn't an inherent flaw, more like step one. And that adaptability led to that incredible turnaround from April onwards, winning 15 of the last 15 matches.
Wow, and that run was directly linked to Maresca tweaking his system, showing more flexibility.
That's what the analysis suggested, yes.
And what a turnaround. Ending the season with 2 major trophies, the UEFA Conference League and the FIFA Club World Cup. That's some validation for the project.
Huge validation. The Conference League final, that 4-1 win over Real Betis, was dominant and historic, making Chelsea the first club to win all 4 major UEFA trophies.
Cole Palmer with 2 assists in that final, right? And Maresca's subs, bringing on Reece James at halftime, were praised.
They were seen as game-changing moves, yeah. Then came the Club World Cup final against PSG. A 3-0 win. People called it a tactical masterclass.
What was the plan there?
Aggressive man-to-man high press, disciplined shift to a back 5 without the ball, neutralizing PSG star forwards. Caicedo and Reece James controlled the midfield, and those strategic long balls, again, bypassing the press, led to early goals. Palmer got 2, João Pedro got the other.
And Sanchez in goal.
Immense performance, made crucial saves, really silenced some critics and repaid Maresca's faith. And let's not forget the Premier League, finishing 4th, getting back into the Champions League for the first time under the new ownership.
Which smashed initial internal expectations, apparently. And again, doing it with the youngest average lineup in the league's history. 24 years, 36 days. Just incredible.
It really is remarkable.
The whole perception just flipped, didn't it? From overhyped and disorganized during that tough patch to genuine excitement and anticipation again.
The shift was dramatic. And Maresca's reaction after the Club World Cup, telling critics to fuck off, well, it was certainly defiant.
A statement for sure. Victorious defiance.
That whole period strongly suggests the initial struggles, the perceived rigidity, it was all part of a necessary deep learning process for the players. It absolutely validated the project's direction, gave them huge momentum.
So what does this all mean for Chelsea going forward? They've built this incredible foundation, but, staying at the top, that's a different challenge.
It is. Sustaining that level across a full 38-game Premier League season is the next big hurdle.
And managing that big, young, talented squad, keeping everyone happy with game time.
That'll be complex, definitely. Injury management, too, always a concern, especially with key players like Reece James. Maresca did face some flack for potentially pushing players too hard.
Right. And the keeper situation, can Sanchez maintain that Club World Cup form consistently?
That remains to be seen. Consistency is key there. And of course, you've got financial fair play always lurking.
Even with the Club World Cup prize money. 111 million, wasn't it? They've had UEFA fines, registration restrictions. Might still need to sell players.
It's possible, yes. FFP is a constant balancing act for clubs operating like Chelsea. But on the flip side, the opportunities are massive.
That winning mentality must be huge now. 2 trophies, Champions League qualification.
It provides a really strong foundation. Plus, Maresca has now shown he can be flexible tactically, he can adapt. That's vital.
And all those young players, Palmer, Caicedo, Fernandez, Colwill, they'll only get better, presumably. Plus, integrating the new guys properly. João Pedro, Delap, Sancho, Neto.
Exactly. The potential for growth is enormous. The club's internal targets are apparently top 4 again next season, then a title challenge in season 3. Right. So there's real optimism.
Even if some club legends like John Terry apparently might have reservations about an immediate title push.
Yeah, managing expectations will be key too.
It really leaves you with a big question, doesn't it? Well, as Maresca ball is now properly established, can that learning and adaptation process we saw this season translate into dominating the Premier League week in, week out?
Or is Cup success, a different kind of beast altogether?
That is the crucial question going forward.
It's a fantastic thought to leave you all with. The real test of any system isn't just the glorious moments, is it? It's the relentless grind of a full league campaign. We've taken a proper deep dive today into Chelsea under Enzo Maresca. The philosophy, the struggles, the triumphs. We really hope you're leaving feeling much more well-informed about this fascinating transformation.